Hey, Heaven's Elohim Temple, and this is Pastor Kent. We're going to be looking at, in the recovery portion of this ministry, going to be looking at the feelings that we get in recovery. One of the first feelings that we get in recovery is anger. It's always predominant. Father, may I say and do what you want me to do, and go where you want me to go, and ask these things in Yahushua's name. Amen. Anger is a miserable, nasty, filthy, disgusting thing. Well, you may wonder how many verses are in the Bible about anger. Well, there's 270. I knew there was a lot, but I didn't think there was that many. 270 about anger. And they begin in Genesis and go right through the New Testament. There is 250 in the Old Testament, and there is 20 in the New Testament. We're not going to get all these done, but we're going to look at a few of them. Genesis 27 is where we're going first. And we're looking at the death of the first murder. Eva hated his brother because of his blessing his father had given him. Esva, said to himself, "The time for mourning my father will soon come, when I will kill my brother YHWH." But the words of Esva, her son, were told to Rivkah. She sent YHWH, her younger son, and said to him, "Here, your brother Esva is confronting himself over you by planning to kill you. Therefore, my son, listen to me. Get up and escape to Laban, my brother, in Haran. Stay with him a little while until your brother's anger subsides. Your brother's anger will turn away from you, and he will forget what you did to him. Then I will send and bring you back from there. Why should I lose both you on the same day?" Anger is such a horrible thing. It is a very nasty thing. Now we're going to Genesis 49. Shalom, and Levi are brothers, related by the weapons of violence. Let me not enter their counsel. Let the honor of the convinced with their people. Far from their anger, they kill men, and they womb their murdered mingled cattle, causing their anger, for it has hence their fury, for it has been cruel. I divide them to YHWH and scatter them in Israel. Exodus 4 says in verse 14, at this Adonai's anger blazed against Moses. He said, don't you have a brother named Aaron the Levite? I know that he's a good speaker. In fact, there is he now coming to meet you, and he will be happy to see you. Moses did not feel comfortable taking on God's calling. He didn't feel worthy. So he lost the blessing by upsetting our Heavenly Father. Exodus 11 verse 8 says, all your servants will come down to me, prostrate themselves before me, and say, get out, you and all the people who follow you. And after that I will go. And he went out from Pharaoh in the heat of anger. Exodus 22 verse 23 says, my anger will burn, and I will kill you with a sword. Your own wives will be widows, and your own children be fatherless. See how the anger really grows and becomes violent? Exodus 32. Adonai said to Moses, go down, hurry, your people whom you brought out of Egypt, the land, have become corrupt so quickly. They have turned aside from the way I ordered them to follow. They have cast a metal statue of calf, worshipped it, sacrificed to it, and said, Israel, here is your God, and brought you up from the land of Egypt. Adonai continued speaking to Moses, I have been watching these people, and you can see how stiff-necked they are. Now leave me alone, so my anger can blaze against them. I can put an end to them. I will make a great nation out of you instead. God's anger is justified. He saved those people from a life of slavery, and they turned right back to what it was in Egypt. But as we see, Moses pleaded with Adonai, his God. He said, Adonai, why must your anger blaze against your own people, whom you brought out of the land of Egypt with great power and strong hand? Yet let the Egyptians say, it was the evil intentions that he had led them out to slaughter them in the hills and wipe them off the face of the earth. Turn your fierce anger relevant don't bring such disaster on your people. Remember Ephraim, Yitzchak, and Israel, your servants, for whom you swore your very self. You promised them, I will make you descendants and many as the stars in the sky, and I will give all this land. I have spoken about the descendants, and they will possess it forever. Adonai then changed his mind about the disaster he had planned for his people. God gets angry too. And as we continue in Exodus 32, but at that moment Moses got near the camp. When he saw the calf and the dancing, his own anger blazed. He threw down the tablets he had been holding and shattered them at the base of the mountain, seizing the cattle they had made. He melted it in the fire and ground it to powder, which he scarfed on the water. Then he made the people of Israel drink it. You know, we all get angry once in a while. It's okay to get angry when it's justified. Justified anger is okay. It's what you do with that anger that's the problem. Exodus 34 verse 6 says, Adonai passed before him and proclaimed, Yiddi, he, vahi, Yiddi, vahi. Adonai is God, merciful and compassionate, slow to anger, rise in grace and truth. This is how we can know that God is true. All we need to do is come to Him. Now we'll go to the New Testament. Matthew 5 verse 22 says, But I tell you that anyone who nurses anger against his brother will be subject to the judgment, that whatever calls his brother you good for nothing will be brought before Sanhedrin, that whosoever says fool occurs the plenty of burning of the fire of Elohim. This is referring to the everlasting fire, and Sanhedrin is the devil. Matthew 18 verse 34 says, And in anger his master turned him over the jailers for punishment until he paid back everything he owned. You see, this master forgave him of a great debt, and yet he wouldn't forgive somebody of a small debt. Mark 3 verse 5, Then looking them over and feeling both anger with them, the sympathy for them at the stoniness of their hearts, he said to the man, Hold out your hand. As he held it out, it became restored. Romans 1 verse 18 says, what is revealed in God's anger from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of the people who in their wickedness keep suppressing the truth. We must face our demons, our anger, our pain. How do we do that? How do we do that? We come to Ephesians 4 verse 26. Be angry. See, justified anger is okay. But don't sin. Don't let the sun go down before you have dealt with the cause of your anger. Ephesians 4 verse 31 says, get rid of bitterness, rage, anger, violent aggressiveness, and slander, among those spitefulness. So if we get rid of those, it can't hurt us. How do we get rid of these? How do we get rid of our self-worth? And our selfless behavior? Like this. Heavenly Father, I come to you in prayer, asking you for forgiveness for my sins. I confess with my mouth and believe with my heart that YHWH is your Son, and he died on the cross at Calvary that I might be saved and return and have eternal life in the kingdom of heaven. Father, I believe that YHWH rose from the dead, and I ask him right now to come into my heart and be my Lord and Savior. I repent of all of my sins, and I worship and will worship you all the days of my life. Because your word is truth, I confess with my mouth that I am born again and am cleansed by the blood of Calvary. In YHWH's name, I pray. Amen. God loved us so much. He gave us so much. Do we, as fathers, understand the sacrifice that God made? He actually took a form, became human, came down here and died for us. You need to fathom that he actually gave his own Son. The Son he made out of his own image, out of his own spirit. And he actually gave him a life. And then made him take it away. And YHWH, out of love for us, did it willingly. That's true love. Anger doesn't exist in the heart of God. May God bless and keep you until we meet again. Father, thank you for being here with us. Bless and guide and strengthen and keep us as we go your separate ways. We ask these things in YHWH's name. Amen. Tune in for the next one, because we're going to look at the steps.